Okay, so we're with Yuki Kabe, who is Braskem's life cycle analysis specialist here at the conference. Yuki, first of all, how much BioP are you producing at the moment?
Yes, we produce annually 200,000 tons of bio-based polyethylene.
And where's that mostly being used?
Well, it's actually in a multitude of applications, but mostly packages.
Yeah.
Yes, packages and some durable products, but mostly in packages, both rigid and flexible.
Okay. Now, yesterday you talked about shopping bags that were a little bit over 50 micron thickness.
Yes.
And I wanted to know actually how recyclable are these bags?
Well, every green PE bag is fully recyclable, and actually it can be mixed with the existing collection flows, so it doesn't have to be segregated from standard polyethylene, since they are chemically identical. So they are 100% recyclable, although they are not recycled yet because lack of collection, but they could be 100% recycled.
And it literally is the lack of a suitable recovery system that's stopping it.
Yes, actually there is not only collection, but also quality of the recycled product, or let's say the recycled resin. But this is not a problem with biomaterials, but with all polymers in themselves, because although we think about polyethylene as being all polyethylene or polypropylene, and the current separation flows only distinguish between these macro resins. Inside polyethylene, you have polyethylene for multiple applications. So injection polyethylene is different from extrusion, blow molding polyethylene, and so on. And when you collect polyethylene and mix them all together, they have different processing characteristics. So maintaining those characteristics through time is, in my point of view, the main challenge to an effective recycling of plastics in general, and biopolymers included.
So we've got a packaging item that could be recycled, isn't being recycled because of a lack of an infrastructure to handle it. Is that actually holding back adoption by brand owners?
I think what the main obstacle might be misinformation. As I mentioned in my presentation, there is a misconception of what is green, what is sustainable, and so we have to overcome these preconceived ideas about what sustainability is, to get into the core of sustainability, which can only be assessed through tools like life cycle assessment, which give you an overall picture of the problem. Since we are talking about packages, it's not related to bags, but it was also mentioned here that food waste is a major source of environmental impact.
Yeah, sure.
And so when we talk about packages, we only think about the end of life impact of the packages, but we forget about the benefits that packages perform or give in their use phase. So let's imagine a very controversial package, which would be a multi-layer package, flexible package for beef. Okay, with barrier, modified atmosphere, and so on. We've conducted a study. I don't have the numbers exactly, but I will give you an overview of the study. That the total cost, that means not only the cost of the package, but the cost of the environmental impact of the package, would be around 150 times less than the value the package has protected during its lifetime.
Right.
Yes, for instance, to have 1 kilogram of beef, you would have a world average of around 14 kilograms of CO2 emitted during the life cycle of the beef, as well as hundreds of cubic meters of water being consumed. So when the package protects the meat, it doesn't protect only that meat. It protects all the resources used to produce the meat. So we would get to a true cost for beef of around possibly $9 per kilogram more than it costs today if we consider all the environmental impacts.
Sure.
So that is the total value that the package is protecting. So, and that would be around 150 times more than the environmental impacts the packages cause. So we recognize that plastic products, due to their very strengths, might be a problem in the end of life. Now, plastics are lightweight, so they get blown away, they float. They are very stable in the environment, so they will stay there for 400, 500 years. But those are the very characteristics that make plastic such a good material.
It's a very good answer and very thorough, and thank you. I think sometimes I think the problem is people choose to believe what they want to believe.
That's true.
And I think, irrespective of whether it's bio-based or fossil fuel, plastic always has that problem. And I'm thinking of a more commodity bag than the one we were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. But, you know, the single-use retail bag,
right,
which we all know actually is environmentally more sound than the paper one, and yet...
Yes, that's true. We have multiple life cycle assessment studies, including some made in the UK, the most thorough probably made by UK DEFRA. Yeah. That shows that carrier bags in high-density polyethylene are the most sustainable alternative.
As a life cycle analysis specialist, you have facts on your side, but do you think that statistically based factual argument is the one that will win over brand owner and consumer opinion?
No, unfortunately not. I think the old saying that an image is worth 1,000 words applies very well here. You know, so one image of a turtle tortured in a six-pack beer ring is worth all the arguments that I can give for the use of those plastic products.
Yeah, it's
but I think it's about time we stop making decisions based on emotions, based on preconceived ideas. We have to mature. We have to make decisions based on science, based on facts and arguments. And at some point, we have to get to the opinion formers. And I believe the media has a very strong influence in that. We have to get the message, the right message, out to the public so that they can distinguish about what is emotional and what is fact, what is science-based.
I think that's a very fair comment. Are you? It's just green PE, isn't it? That Braskem.
Right now, it is.
Because yesterday we heard somebody come through with a green PP, I think.
Well, that would be news for me.
I think it was Nesta.
Nesta, green PP, yes. Well, we do have some projects. Actually, we developed a process to produce bio PP some years ago. At that time, with oil prices as high as $130 per barrel, it was feasible, but not at current prices.
What is it, about 40 now or something? Well,
less than $50 per barrel. So it wouldn't work on this scale. But we are currently developing other alternatives to produce not only polypropylene, but also other intermediate chemicals.
Right, so that is a possibility. Just the last question, it was something you said yesterday. I think I heard it right. There's no competition, Braskem, Brazil, between food and feedstock.
Yes,
Uh,
that's
right.
for our feedstock. There is no competition, and actually, talking about competition between food and feedstock in Brazil is a little bit out of context. Brazil has the largest agricultural frontier, let's say. We have more than 100 million hectares of land available. That would be roughly 3 times the size of Germany of land still not explored commercially. And that would be excluding biomes like Amazon, rainforest, the Pantanal, wetland basins. Brazil also has one of the most strict environmental codes in the world. It requires every property to reserve between 20 and 30% of their total area for protected lands, or there are what we call permanent protection areas like mountaintops and riversides and so on. So even considering all those protected lands, we still have a lot of land available. And also, what we use is less than 0.2% of all the land available in Brazil.
So plenty of scope for expansion, physically as well as different grades of plastic.
Yes, it's just a figure, but if we would replace or if we would use all the land available in Brazil to plant sugarcane, we could supply the world with, replace all the standard 40 million tons a year, I think, consumption of polyethylene with biopolyethylene. So there is a lot of land available.
Thank you very much.
Thank
That
you.
was very
Thank
good.
you.
That was very interesting too. Thank you.